Hello and welcome to Ladies Who Question. We've got a grab bag of goodies today. Really, recording this on Friday before the Super Bowl. So we have a couple of Super Bowl treats, and by the time you hear this, it'll be over. But these are somewhat, I don't know what Holly's got, but these are kind of evergreen.
Okay.
Some of the stuff. And then, of course, we've got the usual goss,
Goss.
and let's lead that off. Okay, first of all, we got Blake versus Justin. We're going to talk about that first. The Lively versus Baldoni.
Wow.
God, that never
God.
ends.
Yeah.
And it's got legs, too. It's going to keep going, I guess. Scamanda, another installment, aired on ABC on Thursday night. And not a whole lot of information was necessarily imparted. I didn't think through this.
But there's a few parts that I'd like to talk about that really upset me.
Yeah, I'll bet. And some good background, I thought. Talk about foam fingers, and then Holly's got a couple of Super Bowl surprise stories. Well, they're going to be surprising to me, but who knows? Anyway, now you have the scoop on the Justin.
I have, yeah.
Blake Lively.
What I first wanted to do was break down all the lawsuits because things kept just piling up. And I'll do this quickly, but you could see how much Justin has lost in comparison. And you'll see it when I talk about all the lawsuits.
Oh, PR-wise? Okay.
Okay, so, December 20th, Lively against Baldoni, sexual harassment. December 24th, Baldoni sued by his ex-publicist. So that's a bummer. Right when her lawsuit dropped, the next day, or 4 days later, he was sued by his ex-publicist. On 12/21, which was right after Blake's suit dropped, Baldoni was dropped by his agency. December 31st, Lively formally filed a lawsuit against Baldoni in New York federal court. Is that the same? That's probably the same what they're talking about on the 20th, where she was filing a civil suit against Baldoni, and now she's filing a federal suit. So she's got the civil and the federal. And in the meantime, he's being sued by his publicist, and he's been dropped by his agency. December 31st, Baldoni files a lawsuit against the New York Times for its reporting on Lively's allegations. January 16th, Baldoni files a countersuit against Lively, her husband, her publicist, and her PR firm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just so far.
And so those are all the suits right now.
And there's been a lot of posting of different conversations by both of them, between the two of them.
Correct.
About the situation. And that has just thrown kerosene onto the whole fire. Yeah.
One more thing happened. It's not a lawsuit. On December 23rd, Baldoni's podcast co-host leaves the show amid the lawsuit.
Amid?
Amid.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So he's lost everybody. And now he's fighting back. And this week, so some new interesting things have come up in the case. Taylor Swift.
Well, because, there was a story that I saw yesterday. It was Wednesday. That would be January 6th, I guess. What's today? The 7th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
February.
Oh, February.
That's okay.
Wow. Cold medicine is definitely taking its toll on my brain.
That's okay.
Anyway.
I can't read. You can't remember what month we're in. So we're good pair.
So thanks for listening to the podcast. And she reportedly felt that she was being used by Blake because she did not want to be part of the lawsuit. And now she may be deposed by Baldoni's attorney.
Correct.
In this because of that meeting, which she said she was apparently, this is from TMZ, their sources, and they're often pretty good.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they really have an in on all the skinny. According to them, Taylor felt used by Blake because Blake not only referred to her as one of her dragons, Blake being Scalise, and Taylor's one of her dragons, when she either left a text or a phone call for Justin late one night or early in the morning, however you want to put it. And Taylor was not really necessarily saying she's part of that meeting. She was just over there dropping in or going to pick her up for something or whatever. She's not a part of it. She was not there, and she didn't make any commentary on the script.
Right.
This is according to what we learned from TMZ. And also, So she felt used by Blake, and that either text or phone call that Blake left to Justin was preceded or was followed by 10 minutes afterward, Justin leaving that long voicemail. So it just keeps on coming from the left, from the right, from the above, and now Justin, and now apparently Blake has lost a friend. We'll get a good song out of that, right?
I wonder if she'll be at the Super Bowl this weekend.
Oh, because that's right. Blake Lively is gone to the Super Bowl with
Taylor. Anyways, there's going to be enough of these stories that Taylor could probably write 4 or 5 songs based on this whole suit, the lawsuit.
The material just keeps on presenting itself.
It just keeps on coming in. Yeah. Oh, when Justin posted a 424-page, he posted everything about the lawsuit. You didn't hear about that?
No, I haven't followed nearly as closely as you have.
It's 424 pages of all the filings. He made them public, and you can go to his website. He made a website based on the case.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a man fired up.
And I'm surprised there wasn't a gag order.
Well, I thought they were trying to, I don't know, maybe that's another lawsuit or somebody else's lawsuit. Who knows?
Well, the lawyers are winning.
Well, as usual.
Yes. Of these high profile people, my God, they're going to make millions, whether they win, lose.
Anything else on that? Or does that about wrap it up?
That about wraps it up. We'll have to see what happens with Taylor. And if you have time, read the 424-page lawsuit.
Yeah.
And get onto his website.
Yeah, well,
which is weird.
If you're that interested, I hope you have a financial stake in the outcome, because otherwise that ain't worth my time. No. On to Scamanda, which was on the second installment of the TV show on ABC, Scamanda, about Amanda Riley, the woman who fleeced thousands of people out of God knows how much money, saying she had cancer. We talked about it last week, the first installment. There wasn't, I didn't feel a whole lot of meat in this particular second one. There was a little bit of background from the first. They were trying to catch people up who maybe hadn't, I think, seen the first installment.
Right.
But there were a couple of things that irked me. Now, I know I've got mine, but what stood out for you? Or do you want me to go first? Or you want to go?
Okay. Well, a couple of things. I mean, of course, every time, this whole story is hard to watch because it's just her taking advantage of vulnerable people and
manipulating them.
Yes, and just it's awful. So first of all, Amanda's husband's ex-wife,
Aletta.
Alita or Aletta.
I heard it both ways. Yeah,
I did too.
Let's decide on one. Alita. Okay.
It's really sad how she has lost so much because her daughter had cancer. Then Amanda and Corey go for full custody, and they just railroad her to the bone, and she can't do anything about it.
Nope.
And it was just horribly sad. So
you could see the pain in her eyes when she was being interviewed. Yeah.
And I think she finally, on this episode, she called a reporter, or a reporter called her. A reporter called her, the Nancy that's doing the story.
Nancy Muscatello.
Yes.
Yeah, the investigative journalist. Yeah.
And so she got a hold of her, and then off to the races they went to get her side of the story because she had no idea what was going on. But then everybody that's close to Amanda kind of had a weird feeling about it.
Yeah.
But they didn't know what, and they didn't want to say anything because it's just awkward. Hold on a second, Mike.
A lot of them, though, did notice that she never looked sick.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't understand how she got all those photographs of her being in the hospital and So that was a part of the story. Then Corey's background, where he doesn't what does he even do for a living?
Well, they never really talked about that. Right. At least not yet.
And
but they did say his dad had died from suicide when he was young.
Oh.
Corey's dad.
Okay.
So that probably imprinted on him in a certain way. It was in a mention.
But didn't he file for bankruptcy? And they filed for bankruptcy when they were married. When
they were married, when she was
Alita.
With Alita?
Oh, I don't know if it was Alita or Amanda.
It was with Amanda.
Yeah. And that's either more bothersome because they're raking in all this money.
Yep.
It's just like he's a scammer too. So it finally shows that he had to be in on this.
Well, how could he not be?
Right.
And made it
He
for
probably
easy
helped her with
street for
the
him.
photography and the needles and to make it look like you're in chemo or you're in the
mean-
hospital again. And it's just so weird.
Who else would? He had to have been, and maybe eventually he'll get his just dessert. But
There's a gal, Angie, who's a cancer survivor.
oh, she's the one who donated all the platelets?
Yes.
Oh, that was sad.
That was sick. She went to the church. She goes to the big Hallelujah church.
Family
where-
Community Church in San
Yes.
Jose.
Yep. And her heart broke. She goes, I don't really make a lot of money, but this is what I can do to help you. And she donated platelets. Not necessarily they were going to her, but she did it in her name.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so sad because she was so believing to the whole story. Yes, Corey and Amanda did file for bankruptcy. You're
Yeah.
right.
Here's another thing. The clinical trial, they were saying, oh, we need money for the clinical trial, and it's in New York. And I'm thinking,
Right.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with clinical trials. I should probably ask one of my friends about this who is involved in this sort of thing. Why would she have to pay to be in a clinical trial? Don't they
She
want
shouldn't
you-
have to.
Right. That's
Right.
what I thought.
I knew somebody that did a clinical trial.
And they
And-
are actually paid, not much, but they are.
Well, they take care of their hotel because I know this person had to go from Southern California to San Francisco once or twice a month,
Mm-hmm.
and they paid for everything. I don't know if they
See?
paid for their flight. I think they did, but I know they put them up, and yeah,
See, and so that didn't make sense to me. And that was what stuck out from this episode for me.
right.
Yeah.
The trips to New York, and well, I thought she was getting treatment in New York. Also, no,
Well, I think that, she was getting treatment, but I thought that was part of the clinical trial because I remember later in the podcast series, she was talking about how, I don't have to go back to New York for this one. The doctor said I can take it home with me. I can do no, clinical trials are strictly
controlled area. People are taking notes, and another thing, she lives in San Jose, which is very close to Stanford Hospital, and also University of San Francisco, which are amazing medical centers. And she's flying back to New York.
Yeah, see, well,
Nothing. I can't believe all these people let this go on for so long.
yeah, just more of this is not adding up.
And
more
then
more.
they reported it to the police, and he really didn't know what to do at first with the information. The investigative reporter. Remember that guy?
Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez. And he's like, okay, now, how do I start this case? But he dug right in
Yeah.
because he'd never had a case like this before.
Well, it's probably not a common kind of case.
No.
I mean, and especially the extent to which she went to solicit funds and cover up and,
Exactly.
manipulate with her story. Anyway, that was all I got out of that episode. I didn't get a whole lot more.
I think that's it too.
Yeah. I'd like to move on to foam fingers.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay.
When you said foam fingers, I go, I'm not going to ask. I'll let you surprise me.
Oh, as soon as I start to tell you
"What?"
about this, you'll know what I'm talking about. When you go to, this is sort of a Super Bowl story. This is just sort of a story.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Back to Scamanda real quick.
Okay.
There was something I just remembered. Here's what grossed me out about this disgusting story. How she wormed her way into the family when they showed videos of her. Did you see this part? Did you see the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
It showed her, she was hired as a babysitter for the two girls, Jessa and Jamie.
Right.
Corey and Alita. Yeah.
Nanny.
So they hired her on as a babysitter. And then there were videos of her with the two young girls showing them cheers and doing tumbling and other things like that, dances. And then there was one video where they were in some sort of a competition. Scamanda didn't like how it went.
Oh.
Because they got a 6.6 out of 10 or something.
Oh.
Scamanda sends the two little girls over to the judges to say, well, you should get a better score.
Oh my God. Ew.
Oh my God.
Did she cause the divorce?
Well, that was not really.
It seems kind of like it.
It seems like it,
Yeah.
but I don't know how soon after, I can't recall how soon after they got together after the divorce,
Okay.
you know.
Or if they were cheating at the time she was
Yeah.
nannying.
Yeah. 17.
That's a common thing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, the way she wormed her way into the family just nauseated me. We're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back and talk about foam fingers and how they all got started.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. And foam fingers. I don't know why. Remember Goldfinger?
Yes, Goldfinger.
But foam fingers. I thought this was timely. I've always kind of wondered how things start, trends start, silly stuff like bobbleheads. How'd that start? You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, maybe we could do that too. But anyway, I found this one. Okay, foam fingers. They're probably going to be all over the Super Bowl. They're always everywhere.
Oh, these foam
yeah,
fingers.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, the big fingers that you see in the stands.
Then the
people are holding like number one.
That's
with their
right.
team on it.
That's right.
Oh, foam finger. Okay. Got it. I
Well,
got the visual now.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I can see why you'd be
I
wondering.
was like,
yeah.
what? She's putting something on foamy stuff? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Oh, it's okay. That's why I put it, in the context of game, anyway.
Got it.
So 1971, an Iowa high school student, his name is Steve Chemler. This is from Mental Floss magazine, by the way. He got this hair of an idea, and he built one for his basketball team. He made it out of cloth and paper mache.
Oh, my gosh.
This is 1971. He's just like, oh,
This will be cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that was the end of that for the young man, at least according to this article. 6 years later, a Texas guy, Gerald Foss, he made 400 of them out of masonite, which is some kind of an engineered wood. I know I've seen it used before. I think they use that sometimes to fill in cracks. I
Okay.
don't know, in wood floor. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But anyway, they made out of masonite. So it's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
But still, he built it to raise money for a school club.
Oh.
Who knows if he heard about it from the Iowa kid or whatever,
Right.
or he saw it, or maybe he came up with this idea on his. I
Don't know.
don't know. Could have been out there in the atmosphere and foam finger, yeah. Anyway, so he made 400 of them for that game. Then he made a whole bunch of them for the 1978 Cotton Bowl.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's when I guess it just exploded, because he made them out of foam, I guess. He didn't make them out of the masonite.
He figured
And
out how to
then-
make them lightweight.
Right.
Everybody can have one.
Right. And then he founded a company shortly thereafter when people went insane at the Cotton Bowl, like, how do I get a foam finger?
Oh, wow.
And he made them out of foam, and the rest is history. There's not a whole lot more to this
Wow.
story, but that's how we got the foam finger.
Is he still doing this today?
I don't think so. I don't think that was in there. And I don't know if he started this business back in 78,
Yeah.
he may not be.
A billionaire?
Well, no, he may not be around.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Or
Okay.
maybe he's still cranking them out, or his company is,
Yeah.
and maybe his kids are in charge of his company. But I
Oh,
didn't go
that's-
that deep into this
No,
story.
but
I
that's
just,
a fun story.
yeah. Anyway, and it's timely, and it's Super Bowl.
Right.
So you've got a couple of, you said Super Bowl surprise stories.
I don't
for
want
me.
this to be a sad story. I think it could be an interesting story.
Okay.
We lost Virginia McCaskey this week.
Oh, that's right. She's
At a-
the
Yep.
co-owner of the Chicago Bears.
Yes, she is. And I did a little deep dive because I knew there was more to it. Well, first of all, she passed away at 102.
Yeah. Wow.
And she was one of 10 female owners of a football team. And so her father in 1920 started the Bears and bought the team for $100
Oh, is that really
in 1920.
Papa Bear? Hell,
And her the team is worth how much?
now?
Mhm.
Oh, how many billion? I
Yeah.
don't know.
$6.4 billion.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So that $100 investment paid off. Who owns the team? Well, she owns 20%. Virginia owns 20%. And the rest of her family members, which she has 11 children.
Wait, there are 11 kids?
11 kids. Yep. She's got a big family. She has 11 children, 21 grandchildren, 35 great-grandchildren, and 4 great-great-grandchildren.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this.
It's
the
a big,
family was that big.
big group. And she still lived in her little humble ranch in Des Plaines.
Yeah, I saw
1,700
that.
square feet little house.
Yeah, it
It's
was really small.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess 11 of her children are the other part owners of the team.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Going back a little bit, she was married to her husband for 60 years, a great marriage. And in 2003, he died. And at 83, she became an owner of a team.
Wow.
I know.
Well, she was probably always a co-owner.
Yeah,
I
she
mean, it
probably
was
yeah.
her dad who started it. So McCaskey, her husband, came to it through her.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Virginia Hallis McCaskey.
So her husband, he was really involved in the team, but like she was there for everything and she never wanted to sell the team. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to the team.
What do you think is going to happen? I mean, I feel like they're probably going to sell it.
I kind of think so.
Yeah.
You hear things about the children not being that interested or
show me the money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, since the bears are in our neighborhood, literally, it was nice to. Oh, and he
who?
Virginia's father, also started the first Super Bowl.
Oh, he's the one who started that.
He started the Super Bowl. That's where I was going with the story.
Oh.
And I just forgot to say that important tidbit.
I did not know that.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, that's a good Super Bowl story. Super Bowl related.
My other Super Bowl story, which really isn't that Super Bowl-y, but it's interesting because Tom Brady he's going to be one of the announcers at the Super Bowl. Are you a fan?
Of Tom Brady? I think he has a lot of expertise at what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And as a human being, I don't know him. That's, what more can I say? I guess I'm not a super fan. I would have been, I love him.
Right.
No, I don't like that he and Bridget Moynihan, he was having a relationship with Bridget Moynihan and she's pregnant. And then he's like, well, no, I've fallen in love with Giselle or whatever it was. I don't really know what came first. Like, did they break up? And then she's pregnant or not, she was pregnant, but I just don't know the order in which, and it's really, who cares what I think? But,
right. But no,
that
plays a part in his whole persona and,
it
his
skewed
past.
a little bit for me.
So he was interviewed this morning about him being an announcer for the Super Bowl and how he's been studying up like crazy. He goes, I didn't just study up 2 weeks ago. This started, he said, his start to study up for the Super Bowl started in August.
Well, he's nothing if not a student of what he needs to know. And look what he did with himself. He was also ran, when the fact that he even played in the NFL or got picked up was amazing. And look what he did.
Exactly.
So that is admirable.
He's applying perfectionism to his new position as a sport reporter.
Yeah.
And he is working his tail off. He goes, oh my God. He's taken so many notes because he wants to make sure he's so prepared. He goes, I'll probably be able to say 5 things from my 2 hours worth of notes.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, Giselle had her baby yesterday.
Oh, I did hear about that.
So I was like pulling it all together.
Not with Tom.
Not with Tom.
With the new boyfriend.
With the new boyfriend, Joaquin Valente. She's 44. I didn't know.
I thought she was older than that.
I didn't know how old she was. I mean, she's gorgeous. So
yeah.
So we've got the Super Bowl. The baby was born Wednesday, and Tom's going to be he's going to be announcing. So I just thought that was a funny story, or it kind of came full circle.
Well, it does. It does come full circle, and it's another Super Bowl related story. It'll be interesting to see how at ease or not he is in front of the camera and in discourse talking about, the game. He certainly will be well armed with knowledge. I mean, I got to admire his due diligence. Good for him. So let's just see. He never seems to me like Mr. Personality.
No,
but
and
he
he seems a little stiff.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to. He's completely switching positions about when he had to go in front of the cameras as a player, as the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
This is so different. This is.
Yeah.
I mean, I give him a little bit of slack for that, right?
Yeah. Oh, no. He'll have a little learning curve along the way. So, 2 things. Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the Eagles.
I am too.
Yeah.
I would love to see them win.
I would love to see them win. Yeah.
It would be nice. And then there's all this weird speculation that, okay, do you think Kelsey will propose to Taylor on the field?
Oh,
I'm like,
I know.
No.
I mean, Travis.
Travis
Kelce.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
Travis
yeah.
Kelsey.
Yeah. No way.
No way.
I mean,
even if they win and somebody's like, oh, his brother might have the ring in his pocket and come up to him. And I'm like, no, that doesn't seem like their MO.
no stinking way.
They don't want to be public with something like that.
No,
that would take over all the
me.
media from the winner or loser of the game, the winner, to them.
And
could you imagine?
And I think she'd be pissed.
Yeah, she'd be probably pissed, embarrassed, and like, what?
And let's think of Travis Kelce's ego. Why would he want to distract from his moment of glory?
Right. Or if he loses, he's not going to, he's out.
No, it's just a bad idea.
Yeah. I think this is just public that's brought up these like funny little fantasy world things.
Yeah. There's I'm a thumbs down on that. Ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Ain't going to happen, but I can't wait to see what she's wearing.
Huh. Okay.
Well, she looks good. I loved what she wore to the Grammys. I thought she looked darling.
Oh, that
little
red
trendy.
number?
Yeah, with the little necklace kind of coming down her leg.
I have never seen a what would be called? Thighless?
A thighless.
I don't know. I looked at that and I went, first I thought, that's not a tattoo.
Well, that's what I thought. And then I saw it and I go, oh, it's a necklace.
Really delicate and cool and understated.
It was well done.
Kind of sneaky sexy.
It was sneaky sexy.
Yeah.
Kind of peeking out from her leg.
I liked that.
Yeah. No, she pulled it off well.
Yeah, that was a great red.
She loves red in the lipstick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of her.
She's tall and she's fit and she can carry anything off. So good for her.
Okay. Well, hey, a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
And
I think it's time to wrap it up. I'm done.
It's time. Okay.
All right, let's wrap it up and let's just go Eagles.
Go Eagles. Fly, baby, fly.
Fly, baby, fly.
They say about the Eagles.
That's right. See you next time. Thanks for listening to Ladies Who Question. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Harvey. Ladies Who Question is executive produced and edited by me, Lisa Dominique, and also executive produced by Holly Caulfield. Holly also does most of our research, and Claire Caulfield is in charge of technical assistance and social media. Music, My Lionheart. Sketch music by Florian Manx and Matthew Anderson. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe, follow, rate, and review Ladies Who Question on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Send your thoughts to ladieswhoquestion@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and our website, ladieswhoquestion.com.
All content discussed on Ladies Who Question are the opinions of Lisa Dominique and Holly Caulfield and should not be construed as advice of any kind. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as advice of any personal or medical issue for yourself or others. This disclaimer also applies to guests or contributors to the podcast.